Welcome back to the Cowboys Society. The thumbnail got your attention, and I know the content will earn your subscription. Now let's get into it, guys. Today we're talking about Jalen Carter. That's right, of the Philadelphia Eagles, the star defensive tackle. That's right, Mr. Spitgate himself. Now, I wouldn't be talking about the Eagles if it didn't directly affect the Cowboys, right? Now, as you saw in the title and the thumbnail, he signed a huge contract. So I want to get into it, and I want to tell you guys what that means for our Cowboys, and in specific, what that means for Quinnen Williams. So hit me up with the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special with a like and a subscribe. And without further ado, let's talk about it.
We continue to follow breaking news out of the NFL, where the Eagles are signing defensive tackle Jalen Carter to a record-setting contract extension. It's coming from our Matt Zenitz. Carter will reportedly get a 4-year deal with $152 million. It'll make him the highest-paid defensive tackle in league history, with an AAV of $38 million per. Carter just wrapped up his second straight Pro Bowl season, racking up 3 sacks and 5 tackles for loss over 11 games. Here's the list. Highest paid interior D lineman in league history, now held by Jalen Carter. Jeffrey Simmons had it for about 5 weeks, 3 years, $105.8 million that he signed back on June 19th. And his teammate, Jordan Davis, also not far off of this list, T6. Let's break it all down with our NFL analyst and D lineman by trade, Lige Douzable. Deuce, you and I were just talking about this in a different segment, and it happened minutes later. What do you make of the news?
Yeah, this is good business by the Philadelphia Eagles. And me and you, Tommy, we were doing my top 5 defensive lines. I had the Philadelphia Eagles at 5. And I said they could go significantly higher up this list, and it's because of this guy, Jalen Carter. 2 years ago, when they won the Super Bowl, everybody was just assuming Jalen Carter would step into that number 1 D tackle in the NFL shoes. And last year, he dealt with some injuries. We talked about the spitting incident. And people were saying, like, you got a real chance to reset the market. Little did we know he was going to reset the market before this season. And I think this is how he rose with understanding what projection looks like for Jalen Carter, because he is so dominant. A lot of times it doesn't show up in the box score. You have to double team this guy every single play because he's so physically gifted and athletic. At his size, at 6'3", 314 pounds, he is so quick off the line of scrimmage that before you know it, he's in the backfield creating havoc. So now that you got this deal, Jalen Carter, now it's time to be that number 1 D tackle, because on an annual per base, what you're getting, you are the number 1 D tackle in football.
That's right, guys. I'm going to leave this graphic on the screen right here just so you guys can continue to see that it's a 4-year deal worth up to $152 million. You know, these contracts aren't always as much as they say, you know, unless that player hits all those incentives. I did look into it, and his guaranteed money is $106 million, and that's spread out over 4 years, of course. Now, this is crazy, guys, because as a D tackle getting almost $40 million a year, that's insane to hear. And I'm not pocket watching. I'm not a hater. So besides the fact that he plays for the Cowboys, that he plays for the Eagles, I love the fact that he's going out and he's getting his money. Get your bread. I don't care. I'm sure he's put in a lot of work, a lot of blood, sweat and tears, pee-wee, middle school, high school, college, and now in the NFL. So get your bread. I ain't mad at it. Another thing that's also great is that the Eagles paid him early. They saw how Simmons for the Titans got his deal a couple months ago, about 6 weeks ago. And they were like, we're going to pay this guy. So let's go ahead and get it out the way before somebody else comes in and sets the market price even higher. That's one thing that I do like that the Eagles have done in the past with their players. And one thing that I hate that our Cowboys do with our players, because we wait to the last damn minute when all of the market sets have been priced up as high as they possibly could be. We did that with CeeDee Lamb. We were about to do that with Micah Parsons before we were like, you know what? That's just way too much. Let's get him out of here and get some capital. We did that with Dak Prescott. And guys, we could have saved millions and put those assets into other players that could have helped our team win games. But we didn't do it. So we struggled, paid the highest premium we could and couldn't afford other players. Now, moving forward, I do want to talk about how this is going to affect the Cowboys. Because like I'm stating, Jalen Carter has just now set the new market price. And we all know that the salary cap goes up higher and higher and higher every few years because the broadcasting contracts with advertisers just keeps increasing. It's inflation. It's going to happen. Now, guys, before I continue to talk about how this is going to affect us, let me go ahead and bring up Stephen Jones because they are out in Oxnard right now, right? They are at training camp. And today they actually did a press conference talking about, several things that several questions that the media had for them. And since the media got this news today, right when it happened, they happened to ask Stephen Jones what it would mean for the Cowboys and Quinnen Williams. So let's go ahead and listen to that, and then we'll pick up on the other side.
Stephen, there's a shifting defensive tackle market right now. Jalen Carter signed a record-setting deal today. Vita Vea wants a trade. Obviously, you guys are very bullish on Quinnen Williams. Is that something you anticipate maybe having to talk with him and negotiate here in training camp?
Absolutely. I mean, we're very open to that. We want Quinnen here for the long haul. Obviously, we've got a lot of resources tied up in him, and he knows what we think about him. We've, had some discussions with the agent about how to go about the process, but certainly he's one of the best in the business, and we know, kind of what that market is. Obviously, it evolves and changes, with each new deal, which is the case, at any position. But certainly he's at the top of the list in terms of people that we want to keep around here long term. And there's other players on the roster that we may take a look at as well as we move forward. Camp seems to always be a nice time, to look at something like that.
There you guys have it. That is Stephen Jones, son of the owner, Jerry Jones. Of course, we all know that. Now, it is fantastic, guys. Isn't it fantastic to hear Stephen Jones saying that they want to sign Quinnen Williams to a long-term deal? Why this makes me happy? Why is this so fantastical? Is because we have been starving for a solid, game-changing defensive tackle. We've spent draft picks. We've wasted, who was it? Taco Charlton, whatever his name was. Taco, stupid ass name. We wasted, he was a bust. Mozzie Smith ended up being a bust. I think he's out with the Jets now with that trade to actually get Quinnen. So it always sucks when you got to go play for the Jets or the Browns or whatnot. But yeah, I'm happy to hear that we want to take care of him long term and keep him around. He's in his prime. I believe he's like 27, 28. So he definitely has some years left in the tank that he can come in and produce for us in a positive way. Now, our defense is something that has been lacking for years. Yeah, we had a good year, 2022, I believe, but it went. We didn't capitalize on that at all. So if we can keep him clogging up that middle, and just like Jalen Carter, they said this earlier, there's a lot of things that good, solid, I would say great defensive tackles do that do not show up in the box score. They don't show double teams. That's not a box score stat. They don't show so many different things that how he can affect the game to the point where he can make other players shine because he's taken 2-3 offensive linemen away from the play many times in the game. And we love that. When he came in, I know we had a terrible season on defense last year, but when he came in with the tandem of Kenny Clark, which is another video, our run game our run stop defense actually improved if you really look at the numbers. I know our defense was terrible, but he came in at the end of the season and he actually improved our run stop defense. So with that being said, moving into the 2026 season with the likes of our new defensive coordinator, Christian Parker, and we have 7 new people coming onto the defense, 7 new starters, I would say, with, Jalen Thompson. We got Kobe Durant. We got Rashawn Gary, who's going to reunite with Kenny Clark. And then, of course, Quinnen Williams, who is the star of this video. I'm just happy that we want to keep him. I'm happy we want to keep him. We got to pay him. We got to pay him. And now for DTs to be making this much money is wild. Y'all remember how much Micah was getting? What is he getting? Like 50? It's crazy. Now, of course, we can't afford to pay all our players this much money. So we're going to have to manage that. And that's one thing about, the NFL. People got to get paid, and you can only afford to have certain amount of superstars on your team because they're all going to want to get paid. And if you can't afford to do it because you got your money wrapped up in other players, they become free agents and they leave. So unfortunate. And so moving forward into the future, we got to look at the likes of Dak Prescott, who's always going to have a huge percentage of the salary cap. We got Quinnen Williams coming up. Are we going to do it early? We're going to wait until his contract is up. Who knows? Because the earlier you do it, the more money you're going to save, right? Because who knows who's going to come in and reset that market price. And if it was me, I'm not a GM, right? That's not my forte. I don't know how well I would do it. Probably not that great. But if I had to do it, I would make sure we had a solid signing in defensive tackle, possible edge rush, a linebacker, a safety, and a cornerback. All positions like that, so we can have at least a Pro Bowler in each position. Now, it's something that's to be dreamed about, but it's something that can be done, especially with the Cowboys, because half the league grows up Cowboys fans and will play for the Cowboys for free. I know I would, but But anyway, it's a job. Of course, they're going to get paid. Jokey joke. Laugh it off. So with that being said, guys, what do you think about Jalen Carter's new contract? He has set the new bar. He is now the highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history. Will Quinnen Williams be the next highest paid defensive tackle in NFL history? Should we sign him sooner or later? Let me know down in the comment section. And of course, make sure you guys give me the HBO special. That's the Help a Brother Out special so I can grow this channel and do it full time. So give me a like, give me a subscribe. This is the Cowboys Society. Until next time, peace.